Chapter 8. The Cave of Echoes. Aaron entered a cavern where water dripped like endless tears. The walls shimmered with crystals that caught the lantern's light, scattering it into trembling reflections. The air was heavy, thick with whispers that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Then he heard it. A voice. Aaron, his father's voice, faint, fragile, echoing through the stone. His heart leapt, and he rushed forward, deeper into the cavern. But with every step, the voice multiplied, splitting into 1,000 echoes. Aaron, Aaron, Aaron. The cave mocked him, surrounding him with shadows of hope and despair. His chest ached, his eyes stung with tears. "Where are you, Father?" he cried. Only the echoes answered, twisting his father's voice into endless repetitions. Aaron fell to his knees, clutching the lantern, despair closing in like the walls around him. Then, the flame flickered and bent, not downward, not outward, but toward a narrow hidden passage in the rock. Aaron wiped his tears, stared at the light, and whispered, "You've never lied to me before. Lead the way." Trusting the lantern, he followed the narrow path. At last, through the mist, he saw him, Kyle, his father, pale and shadow-like, trapped in the web of darkness. "Father," Aaron whispered, his voice trembling but fierce. "I've found you." Chapter 9. The broken chain. Kyle stood in the shadows, his form flickering like smoke. His eyes, tired but kind, met Aaron's, and for a heartbeat, father and son were together again. "Aaron." Kale's voice was both joy and sorrow. "You should not have come." "I had to," Aaron said, holding up the lantern. Its flame burned brighter here, pushing back the dark. "You were lost, and I promised Mother I'd guide you home." The boy stepped closer, but then he saw it. Chains, not of iron but of shadow, coiled around Kale's arms and chest like living serpents. Each one pulsed with a dark light, binding him to the cavern. Aaron's throat tightened. "Who did this to you?" Kale lowered his head. "The mountain spirit holds me. I strayed too far, let despair take me when the sickness came. The darkness bound itself to me. Now I am neither of this world nor the next." Aaron's fists clenched. "Then I'll break it." He thrust the lantern forward. The flame flared and the chains hissed like snakes burned by fire. Shadows writhed and recoiled but did not break. Kale groaned in pain, shaking his head. "Aaron, stop. The chain is not only mine, it is yours too. Your fear, your anger. The darkness feeds on it. If you strike in rage, the chains will only grow stronger." Aaron froze. His small hands trembled around the lantern. He thought of the nights he had cried alone, wishing his father would return. He thought of the bitterness he felt toward the mountain, toward fate itself. And then he thought of his mother, waiting by the river, of the oak tree where his father once lifted him onto his shoulders, of laughter, warmth, and love. Slowly, his breathing calmed. He held the lantern steady, whispering, "I don't need anger. I have love, and love is stronger." The flame shifted, becoming golden white, brighter than ever before. One by one the chains cracked. Shards of shadow scattered into the cavern, melting into mist. Kale gasped, his form growing solid, more real. He reached out, trembling, and for the first time in what felt like forever, father and son's hands touched. "Aaron," Kale whispered, tears in his eyes. "You did what I could not. You brought me home." Chapter 10. The return of light. The mountain shook as if the very earth felt the breaking of the chains. From its cavern walls poured streams of light. golden rivers chasing away the shadows that had clung to the stone for centuries. Aaron held tightly to his father's hand, the lantern between them glowing like a second sun. Cale's voice was steady, now strong, yet soft with awe. "You've given me back my path, Aaron, but the mountain will not let us go easily." A low roar echoed, deeper than thunder, as the spirit of the mountain awakened. From the darkness a colossal form rose, its body made of stone, roots and mist, its eyes two burning orbs of molten fire. The spirit spoke, its voice rolling like an avalanche. "Light does not belong here. The boy must stay. The soul must remain." Aaron's knees trembled, but he did not falter. He lifted the lantern high, his young voice clear and brave. "No. This light belongs everywhere. It belongs to the lost, to the broken, to those who need to find their way home." The flame blazed so brightly that even the spirit hesitated. For in that glow was not only a child's courage, but generations of love, prayers, and hope carried through every lantern ever lit. Kyle stepped forward, standing tall beside his son. "He is right. The chains are broken. My place is no longer here." The spirit howled, shadows swirling, trying to extinguish the flame, but the lantern would not die. Instead, the thousands of lanterns set afloat that very night by the villagers appeared in a vision around them, each one shimmering like a star. The river of light flowed through the cavern, joining with Aaron's lantern until the mountain itself could no longer hold the darkness. With a final shudder, the spirit dissolved into mist, its voice fading. "Then let the light guide all who wander." Silence followed. The cavern was no longer cold, but warm, alive with gentle radiance. Kyle knelt before Aaron, his eyes glistening. "You are braver than I ever was. Whatever happens, remember this. Home is not a place. It is the love you carry in your heart." Aaron hugged his father tightly, unwilling to let go. For a moment, it felt as though time itself had stopped. But then Cale's form began to shimmer. The chains were gone, yet so was the anchor that had held him. He smiled, not in sorrow, but in peace. "My journey is complete. Yours is just beginning." "Father," Aaron whispered, tears burning his eyes. Cale placed a hand over his son's heart. "Whenever you light a lantern, I will be there, always." And with that, his figure dissolved into golden light, rising upward, drifting beyond the cavern, beyond the mountain, free at last. Aaron stood alone, but the lantern still burned in his hands, brighter than ever. He closed his eyes, feeling no longer the ache of loss, but the warmth of love. The current caught the boat once more, carrying him gently back toward the village, toward his mother, toward home. Chapter 11. Epilogue. The Path of Stories. The boat drifted quietly back to the village, its lantern glowing like a star upon the water. By the time it touched the riverbank, the festival was ending. Most lanterns had already floated, downstream, their flames twinkling like constellations fading into dawn. Alara stood among the villagers, her eyes searching the mist. When she saw the small wooden boat returning, her breath caught. She ran forward, tears streaming down her face. "Aaron!" The boy stumbled onto the shore, still holding the lantern. Its flame had not dimmed. His mother fell to her knees, embracing him as though she would never let go. Behind them, the villagers gathered in silence. They had seen many lanterns in their lifetimes, but never one that returned. To them, it was a sign, an omen of hope. Aaron whispered into his mother's ear, "I found him, Mother. He's free now." Ilara's sobs turned into trembling laughter. She pressed her forehead to his. "Then we are free too." That winter, the story of Aaron spread through the village like firelight on snow. The elders spoke of it at the hearth, The children repeated it in whispers, and travelers carried it beyond the valley. It became part of the Festival of Lanterns itself. From then on, each family no longer lit lanterns only for the lost. They lit them for courage, for love, for the reminder that even in the deepest darkness, a single flame could show the way home. Years later, when Aaron was grown, he would sit beneath the great oak tree, his father's tree, with children gathered at his feet. He told them the story of the lantern that never went out, the river that carried him to the mountain, and the Father who taught him that light is never truly lost. And every year, when the lanterns floated downstream, Aaron lit his own with steady hands. He no longer whispered, "Father, come home." Instead, he whispered, "Father, walk with me." The river carried the flame onward, joining thousands of others. And so, the tradition continued, not just of remembering, but of believing. Believing that love is stronger than loss, that courage can outshine fear, and that one small light can guide even the most wandering soul. The mountain still stood, silent and vast, but no longer a place of sorrow. It had become what the villagers always hoped it to be, a place where souls are not lost but found. And among the stars, somewhere far beyond, a father's spirit watched proudly, knowing his son's lantern would burn for generations to come.